Greetings, Star Trek Fleet Commanders. I am the Angry Rhino. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Okay, so remember how in yesterday's video I was doing this and crossing my fingers and saying, please no XMS, please no XMS. Guess what? Bam. XMS. Ha! Got us again, didn't they? Dirty, rad bastards. Or are they? I don't want to like XMSs. I really don't. I feel like the competition is just too high. At least for my bracket. Because the 60s are still in my damn bracket. So, not only can I not compete with that spend, because that's a lot of money they're dropping, and G6 materials just get so many more points. So not only am I competing with 25 60 pluses on my server, but also all the 60 pluses on the other server, which is terrible. What kind of position am I going to get? Who knows? Now, does some of this depend on the officers, whether you like an XMS or not? I think in the past, they've more leaned towards putting in old officers. Old as in like 6 months plus. New Hugh, because this would be the second Hugh that is in this game. And, oh God, what is his name? Phlox. Forgot what his name was. Phlox. They're not that old. They're relatively new. Right? They're new officers. So does that sway your decision on whether to compete in an XMS or not? Maybe not compete isn't the right word. Because if you're acknowledging that you're going to get in this 50 range, maybe even a little higher, the 51 to 100 range, is the reward worth it? Because normally it's only 8 or 4 shards for one officer. Now it's for 2 officers that are relatively new. And as far as Phlox goes, almost necessary for the silent enemies. Though Trip does work well also, I think Phlox is a little better, if not a lot better. So how do you feel about competing in it or spending in this XMS? I think normally I'm like, I don't want to spend it all. I don't want to put any points into it. None. Not even 2 million points. But, and I'm really, what's the word? It's like I'm confused. I don't want to like XMSs. I don't want to put points up, but I kind of want to for this one. New Hugh and Phlox. I don't have New Hugh. His abilities sound neat. Officer ability is that loot boost to mining. You mine 100,000, you get a boost when you're done mining that 100,000. 5% right now. Sounds interesting. I would love to see at least see it in action. I'm not going to say that he's the greatest officer. 1, because it's mining. 2, it doesn't seem like it's that much, at least at this tier, at tier 1. But it sounds interesting. Like I want to engage with this officer because I want to see what it does. We can discuss in the forums and on the podcast and on videos. discuss what this ability does, but until you see it in action, you don't really know, and I kind of want to know. And then there's the below deck ability, repairing 5% of your hull damage taken from the previous round. Well, which doesn't sound like that much. It doesn't. But if you're getting 5% each round, battle goes 2 rounds, you're getting 10% hull back. Or I guess you would only get 5, because in round 1 you would get nothing back because there was no previous round. So if it goes 2 rounds, you get 5%. Of course, if it goes 1 round, you get nothing, which doesn't seem good. So does that add to the number of hostiles you can take out per run, resulting in more loot with, let's say, a silent enemy, or a Zindi enemy, or who are the new assholes? The Gorn assholes. Sounds like it could be, but again, it sounds neat, and I would like to try it, but I can't. And Phlox, with his reduction of critical chance, which wasn't supposed to work in PvE, but it does. Happy accident. And he's actually really good against silent enemies because they have a high crit chance. And his below deck ability, increase the efficiency of charging your Borg cutting beam. Seems very useful. It seems useful in PvE and PvP. Assuming you can use your cutting beam is even worth using in PvP. But again, it's an XMS. You don't want to compete in this because if you normally average about 12, well, you're going to be on the fence of getting bumped out of the 11 to 25 bracket rewards here. But again, the rewards are for 2 officers. So while your shard count may not be as high, or maybe it's about the same, it is spread out between 2 different officers, there really is a little less value in there. Because think about getting 25 shards for 1 officer. You're moving the needle towards the next tier more than, let's say, getting 8 for the 1 officer and 10 for the another officer. You're moving the needle towards a tier up less. But at the same time, if you don't have them because they are harder to source officers, maybe if they keep doing XMSs like this for more recent officers, could change the decision on do we like XMSs or not. And I mean, it's like I hate it. I hate that I want to put points up in this. I hate that I want to. But I want to because I want the officers. Because they're newer, I don't have them, or at least I don't have one of them, and I would like to have them higher, and there's no other sourcing because, well, God forbid we make a sourcing mechanic for the officers. Dickheads. Of course, there is a sourcing mechanic through the NX-01, except don't have the NX-01 yet because that sourcing is shit. Still got another 40. See, my math is shit. I need about 71 more blueprints. So what's that? About 36 more days? Wow, I'm still more than a month away. Holy shit. I don't know. I guess really the purpose of this video, and let's wrap this up here, is I think it's okay to participate in this XMS. I think normally we're advising people, hey, don't participate in this XMS. Don't participate in that XMS. They suck. They're terrible. And yes, they're not good because doubles the competition and therefore can really hurt your standing in the reward bracket. But I guess it's grass cutting day. Thought it was a little too rainy for that, but okay. But if the officers are relatively new, kind of change your mindset a little bit. And I think that's okay. Kind of wondering what you out there in the community think. So comment below. Do you think that there is any criteria that, I guess, live ops, yeah, I'm trying to remember the sections here. Is there any criteria that live ops could add to these XMSs that actually makes us want to do them? Yes, the competition's higher, but is there an officer set that'll be more enticing? Like, say, newer officers, like new Hugh and Fox here. I think it's okay. I'm not saying it's great, but I think it's okay to put points up in this event. If it'll move you more towards unlocking these officers or tiering up these officers, mainly because they're new, and yes, the newer officers usually are better. They're better than like a year-old officer. I think it can be good. But at the same time, I mean, do we think XMSs should just not exist? I'm not happy that there's no milestone this weekend, because that's like guaranteed charge. This, you have no idea, which I think is part of the problem. I don't know. Leave your comments down there. I know I kind of went on for a little bit there, didn't I? Please like and subscribe to the channel. I am the Angry Rhino. Shields up, Commanders.